Breaking news here to CBS Sports HQ in fantasy football today. Lamar Jackson, dealing with a non-COVID-19 related illness, is inactive for the Week 11 game at the Chicago Bears. Jackson was going to try and give it a go, but according to reports, too sick and will not play. Tyler Huntley will be the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens as they take on the Chicago Bears in Chicago for week number 11. For more on this story, Pete Prisco, Dave Richard, I'm Jamey Eisenberg. Let's talk about it. So, Pete, Tyler Huntley, what can we expect without Lamar Jackson in there?
I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, that much we know, but they like him a lot. They really do. And people I talk to in the Ravens, they love him, in fact, more than we do. And we'll see. I think what he's going to get is what Lamar Jackson was going to get, which is not what the Bears do, but they're going to come after him. You have to. If you see that blueprint from last week, do the same exact thing. Greg Roman never adjusted to it. Now, he's had a lot of time to think about it, but this is a copycat league. I think they'll blitz him and blitz him a ton off the edge.
Especially since it's an inexperienced quarterback. I mean, just the fact that Tyler Huntley, this is his first NFL start, obviously. So I think that there's really any and all opportunities on the table for Chicago to just get after him. He played great in the preseason, Jamey. 72% completion rate, ran 80 yards, 20 carries, 2 touchdowns in 3 preseason games. He's got some of that Lamar Jackson playmaking ability to him. So I'm not necessarily going to downgrade guys like Bateman and Andrews. Andrews is going to be the one he probably won't even move in my rankings. Bateman will come down a little bit. Watkins isn't going to really move. No one's really interested in him. And in a 2 QB league, Tyler Huntley is a start.
I wouldn't drop Bateman down. I think Bateman's going to benefit from not more than if he had Lamar Jackson. I think they're going to figure out, get the ball out quick. They had to do that.
Is that who they go to?
They'll go to him in the middle
because he's on the outside?
Middle of the field.
Well, they'll go to Andrews. They'll go to
Andrews. And
I think we'll still see some plays to Sammy Watkins.
I do too.
Because I think that's still part of this offense. And I would disagree. I think people are interested in Sammy Watkins because there is no Marquise Brown. So 14-team league, 16-team leagues, people are starting Sammy Watkins. I mean, I've certainly seen a lot of the moves in my leagues where people are picking him up. I'm starting him in a couple weeks myself. So we'll see what this means for the receiving corps. But just in terms of Huntley himself as a fantasy option, is he a 1 quarterback league option or just more of a 2 QB super flex type of thing?
I think he's more of a 2 QB super flex. I hesitate a little bit to put him as like a top 15 type of fantasy quarterback.
If it was, yeah, if it wasn't his first start, maybe you might, and if it wasn't on the road, maybe. So yeah, I got to see how they adjust to how they're going to play him.
But I'll tell you what, you're taking on Chicago without Khalil Mack, without Akeem Hicks for whatever that's worth on the defensive line, and the secondary hasn't played great for the Bears. So it's not the worst matchup in the world for him to make his first start against.
Okay, so let's just say fantasy managers don't want to trust Tyler Huntley and they want to go find somebody that's available on waivers. Look, you're probably not going to find Kirk Cousins. You may find Cam Newton, who does have a great matchup against Washington. I'm actually going to have to start Jimmy Garoppolo in the one league where I have Lamar Jackson because he's the best one available to me. But Justin Fields, good matchup against the Baltimore Ravens because we've seen this Ravens defense struggle certainly of late. Daniel Jones, you said it, Pete, you think he's going to play well? And he's getting his offensive line back. He doesn't have Sterling Shepard, but he is getting Saquon Barkley back. So Lamar Jackson, you see here, is not going to be ranked. Tyler Huntley's probably going to be in that range. But you got Baker, you got Taylor Heineke, you got Ben Roethlisberger. So there are some guys you could be pivoting to if you don't have Lamar Jackson. And I think we should just reiterate, you heard us say Rashad Bateman and Sammy Watkins. That's because Marquise Brown is out. He's dealing with a thigh injury. We expected him to miss this game. So I guess just one more note or one more question in regards to the backfield here. So without Lamar Jackson, Tom Spencer said expect a lot more running because they weren't sure what Jackson they were going to get. So Freeman, Murray, more work? Any more interest in playing them or still feel the same way like flex options at best?
They're still flex options. And I don't know what this is going to do as far as like how the Bears defense is going to treat them because Tyler Huntley's under center. I think it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, I think they're flex at best.
All right, so the news again is Lamar Jackson out, inactive, dealing with an illness, non-COVID-19 related. So hopefully he's ready to go for week number 12. But in week 11, no Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens against the Bears in week 11.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.